Hey guys, we are back to do the final touches on our paper mache pumpkin. So here is mine that I already did with a Sharpie. So the first choice you have today is if you would like to use a Sharpie. This works best if you are using a darker color and a lighter color, like this black on this orange works really well. And all you have to do is open it up and kind of, wherever you decide to put a polka dot, you have to kind of wiggle it a little bit to get into the crevice because this is 3D. You can try to do a variety of big polka dots where you kind of, go around in a circle, make it big, or just little tiny dabs. So that is option number one, to use a Sharpie. That is the less messy option. You could also, and I don't really recommend it because it's very messy, use the back of a paintbrush and get a container of paint to kind of dab the paint on. That's going to be very messy, and you're going to have to get good at holding your pumpkin like this so you don't get your fingers in the way of your paint. All right, the third option, which is probably what most of you are going to decide to use, is paint markers. So these paint markers are actually awesome because you can use a light color, like white, on a darker color. So I could even put white on this black pumpkin if I wanted to. So to use these, you need to share them at your table and open them up at the top. Whenever you get a color out, if they haven't been used yet, you're going to have to open it up. And it's a little tricky if you've never used a paint marker before. You have to kind of activate it and get it working. So to do that, what you do is you take the lid off. They don't stay on the end, so you've got to make sure you do not lose this lid because these are expensive and we don't want them to dry out. And then use your tray to kind of get it to start working. The first thing you do is shake it up. It makes kind of a fun noise. You can see that the tip is white, meaning there's no paint there yet. So you can kind of air it out by squeezing it a couple times and then flip it over. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep pressing it down on your tray. And eventually, you'll start to see the color is filling up the tip. So this one is almost ready. Oh, and there we go. Once I start to see some polka dots showing, that means that my marker is ready. So I'm picking a color that's going to be in contrast with the color of my pumpkin, because Yayoi Kusama makes these bright, beautiful, in-your-face colored pumpkins. You could decide to do it differently, but if you pick two colors that are kind of opposites, they will stand out a little bit more. So green and yellow are pretty good opposites to this reddish purple. So I'm going to go ahead and activate this green. So I can decide if I want to do maybe polka dots like Yayoi Kusama, where I do some big ones and small ones, or I could decide I just want to do something different. Like I could do some dash lines, maybe like a bunch of just little dash lines on my pumpkin, or I could get creative with it. So it is up to you how you want to design your pumpkin. One other thing you can do is you can draw in your bump lines. Like, for example, if you can't see your bumps very well on your pumpkin, you could draw those lines back in with a black Sharpie or a black marker pen or paint marker. I might just do that with a Sharpie so you guys can see what it looks like. So I'm just going to draw a straight line down the edges of the bumps. And I'm going to take my time to really get into the crevices, the bumps, since this is a 3D form and it's not flat like a piece of paper. And that just kind of extenuates my bumps that I made with my rubber band. So I could do that. I could also go around the bottom of my stem to kind of make it look a little bit cleaner, nicer. Again, I could do this with a black marker, paint marker, if I wanted to. But you do have to let the paint marker dry a little bit before you start touching it all over. You could do a different pattern on each bump. That's another idea too. All right, so I did that. I could show you what the white looks like. So I could draw some texture lines with white. Take your time, go slow. All right, I'm going to go ahead and finish this in fast forward mode. One quick note, guys, is that even though you push down the marker to activate it, you don't actually have to push it down when you're drawing with it. Alright, boys and girls, so this is what my pumpkin turned out looking like. So I did something different in each section, and I went ahead and used every single color just so you can kind of see what the colors look like, at least on purple, which was my pumpkin. Try to get as creative as possible with it. Like this one I didn't really like very much, so I just kept going and adding more things. The more you add, the more interesting it'll be. You even have the ability to kind of go around the outside of different shapes with a different color, like I did here with these stars. And then also with these, the gold looks really cool around the circles I did on this side. It makes it look like there's jewels on it. You could also do, like I did, hearts with some dashes around the outside. I put that texture lines on the stem. And then I wanted to show you that we're really not here to color in a big section with a color. I went ahead and did it on the bottom just so you could see what it looked like. If you color in a big section, you're never going to be able to get inside all these crevices, and it's not going to look as good as if you as when you painted it with the base color. So we're not really here to just color in a big section. We're actually just here to just add little finishing final touches, little details, and to have fun with it. So when you are finished, I want you to take a color that you're going to be able to see really well on the bottom. So since the bottom of mine's black right now, I'll probably just use this silver, as long as it's working. Okay, and I'm gonna write my initials. Mine are C, H, and if you have two people in your class with the same initials, if you put the room number, like if you're in room 39, that would really help me out. So then I'm gonna write 37 because I'm in room 37, and I'm gonna write a B because it's a B day. That way I know Mrs. Hedesheimer is not going to lose my pumpkin, and she's going to be able to read this really well, okay? Now that you have your name on it, you actually don't even need your tray anymore. You're going to turn this into Mrs. Hedesheimer, and I'm going to have Mr. Hedesheimer drill a hole through the top so we can make this into a little Christmas ornament for Christmas time if you celebrate Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, you can just hang it up on a wall or hang it from something for fun. So I will see you soon. I can't wait to see how your pumpkins turned out. Bye, guys.